Hi friends, Lim here. Before I get into this video, I am not in any way a mental health professional, and I am not in any way a lawyer. All things I'm going to state in this video are my own opinion and are based on the allegations that were brought forward. Now, I'm not going to be rehashing out all the details, particularly as this is not part of my normal content on this channel on any level. I hope to add something of value to the current conversation instead of just another tea spilling moment. To me, art is a way to work through your personal feelings without having to find words or even coherent thoughts. It's a healthy way to avoid hurting others when you feel like lashing out, or to help you identify what's making you hurt. In this case, I felt like Shannon, better known as Creepshow Art, used her art to lure people in and turned her art into a veil to hurt others under the guise of constructive criticism. Maybe because of this, I wanted to pick out 5 lessons that could help me and possibly others. There are plenty of people who can tell you about how the drama unfolded. For either background or curiosity, I'd recommend the creator Omnia. I felt like she was professional and clearly dictated when she needed to insert a personal opinion. I also recommend EmilyArtful's video. This is a 2-hour video, but it is definitely worth the watch and listen. I, like others, believe EmilyArtful's conclusions. I commend her for being brave, sharing her story, and protecting her family. This, then, is the first lesson. Victims need for their grievances to be heard and acted on. No one deserves to be harassed, insulted, abused, or threatened. I understand that there is a fine line between reporting abuse safely or putting your life in danger. I am certainly not advocating for doing things a victim believes will endanger their life or their families. Instead, I want to encourage people to share their experiences as they are able to. Emily's story was heartbreaking and lonely, but it sparked a conversation where her story encouraged other victims to come out and speak. Stalking cases are harrowing experiences that do not seem to get enough attention. Due to the laws of the land, often police are unable to act or help offer support until it's too late. This proves the laws need to be changed, but until they can be, it is important for people to be able to share their stories, show their evidence, and to have support. In the case of Emily versus Shannon, more evidence has come out supporting Emily's claims because she spoke out. Many aspects were able to be correlated, and in the future, I hope that social media can do as much for others. The second lesson I pulled from this drama is to speak out if you notice someone engaging in poor behavior. As the story has unwound, Shannon's sibling talked about confronting their sister on her behavior. A friend from Shannon's college days spoke out about noticing Shannon's stalking behavior and confronting her later. While Creepshow Art did not take these criticisms, I feel that speaking up prevented bad things from becoming worse. I would advocate, in addition to warning people against their bad behaviors, if we are able to, we should also try to get them help from professionals. It seems to be a pattern that when people can get away with little crimes, it emboldens them to do bigger and more dramatic things. I'm not talking about picking apart everyone's language or spreading hate when you do not agree with someone. I'm speaking about genuine crimes that you witness or have evidence for. If we don't stand up for each other, then who will? Third, and maybe less obvious, let's avoid gossip websites. Yes, this may sound silly or even stupid, but this whole situation started on the gossip website LOL Cow or LOL Cow, depending on who you are. Gossip may be entertaining for some, but it is incredibly hurtful. It becomes a sort of rumor stew that will eventually create lies that people believe. It's a toxic underground culture that will burn the creator and the people it was made about. Nothing good comes out of this. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And I'll add, if you have a problem with someone, take it to them privately. I believe that honest communication is the key to avoiding extra problems. And, as an added bonus, you won't be wondering about how the administrators get the information to out you for your poor behavior online. Please check out Grumpo's video on her suspicions on how Lolcow gets its information to expose people. She's a software engineer who is super passionate about her field. Before I watched her video, I was mildly curious about Lolcow. I mean, I'm an old lady who doesn't have time to poke around on the internet anymore, but after her video, I've decided to give this particular website a wide berth for security's sake. Fourth, I believe we can also take from this drama the need to be more introspective. Realizing that our actions can cause serious consequences for other people can help you decide on the types of behavior you want to do. Introspection is a difficult skill to develop. I am not a professional who can give you the steps, but I wholeheartedly recommend practicing it. I know introspection involves sifting through the wreckage of your mistakes and deciding to react differently, either to prevent the occurrence or behave differently if the situation presents itself again. I also believe it means apologizing and making amends for the things you do in your haste. Another more difficult part is learning to catch yourself while you're actively making choices. This means pulling your mind out of an argument and analyzing yourself, realizing what's actually upsetting you, and then apologizing in the moment and correcting the conversation in order to be more productive. Think of it like being hungry and angry, or hangry. The lack of food would make you more unreasonable and unwilling to consider other people's points of view. By stopping an argument and eating something, you remove your distress and allow yourself to view the argument with different eyes. I'm not perfect in this skill, but I really have gained a lot of appreciation for it, especially since being married. It is so easy to act on your impulse and stomp around like a spoiled teenager. It's not easy to look at yourself and realize where your prejudices are. Fifth and finally, as often as creators on YouTube are idolized, we, the viewer, need to remember that these creators are human. This statement does not absolve Creepshow Art or her spouse of their alleged crimes. Rather, I want it to remind the viewer that they should not hold people up on their pedestals. I suspect this is why so many viewers felt let down. Pandozzi, forgive me if I've said your name wrong, did a really good video. Creepshow Art didn't trick us. We kind of tricked ourselves. About how several of Creepshow's behaviors and warning signs were already there. I recommend it as another video to look at because it is also a very introspective view. Honestly, it's easy to connect with creators here on YouTube. The creators feel super personal, like they're a really good friend. However, because you see them as a friend, you don't see them like a family member would, which means you only see the best of them. By taking creators off this pedestal, we, the viewers, will be able to emotionally protect ourselves and avoid being overly invested. To me, this also means, instead of following blindly with a mob, you do your own research in order to verify the facts and make your own decisions based on those facts. I believe this also means people are not automatically guilty by association, unless there is proof. There is no need to harass creators who befriended Creepshow Art and assume their silence means they are complicit. They are dealing with a personal loss and need time, just the same as anyone would for a pet or close family member. Humans make mistakes, and it is often best to wait until most of the information comes out before condemning or supporting the party in question. From an introvert's perspective, making true friends is a very difficult investment of yourself. I would personally hate to give up someone who is important to me, only to find out that the allegations against them are false. However, these creators should answer requests politely and with dignity. I'm not saying cave in and give people what they want. Instead, I'm insisting that both parties respect each other and offer mutual support. These are the 5 lessons that I'm taking away from this ordeal. I enjoyed Shannon's content because she spoke very passionately about the topics she discussed. I have the privilege of a few friends with very firm opinions, and her content reminded me of them. Unfortunately, unlike my friends in real life, her stalking behavior makes it impossible for me to want to support her. In order to let go of this drama, I decided to pick lessons to learn from it. I then decided to share them with you. So, as one door closes, I hope to open a new one and seek out other creators who will inspire and uplift me. Thank you for listening.